Hello my Pokepadawans and welcome to my TBU, the Battle Union Draft Analysis. Now, as you may know, or may not know, depending on how up to date you are in events, I was asked to join the Battle Union quite some while back. I was actually, fun fact, I was actually asked to join this union, this league, before I was asked to step in for Ethan on the PPL. Only by a couple of days, I think. So I think it might have been about a week or something like that. But yeah, anyway. So yes, I am the coach of the Highland Houndooms in the Battle Union, and I'm here today to bring you a draft analysis video. Now, don't expect any on the dot, you know, facts or anything like that, because I frequently get things wrong about Pokemon. But I have also learned quite a bit in the time that I've been playing competitive. So I will do my very best. So look at that sexy logo there, that awesome logo. Shout out to Twerkhole, or Broadshot as he now calls himself on Twitter, because he's the man that made this beautiful logo for me. So big shout out to him. So without further ado, let me introduce the first of our team to you. The first member of the Highland Houndooms is Rotomwash. We have the washing machine of doom, Wanky Washer himself, as I believe it was Anima dubbed him during the live stream, if you guys caught that. So yeah, I've kind of started a thing going around hashtag Team Wanky Washer, because, you know, Rotomwash is the first Pokemon I drafted, so it's kind of like the head of the team. But yeah, we've got Rotomwash, that bulky little washing machine. HP 50, 65 attack, 107 defense, 105 special attack, 107 special defense, and 86 speed. I don't know whether you guys can read the font properly. I thought the font looked pretty cool. I've been using this font quite a lot lately, so yeah, hope you guys can read it. Okay. But yeah, this thing is an absolute tank. It can also run really good special offense if you slap a scarf or something on it. It can play a tank as well on both sides, physical or special defensive wall. It's got great utility in things like Pain Split, Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp. It's a very versatile mon, and very bulky. It could play quite a few roles, and that's going to really play off. It's going to really pay off in this league, I think. So yeah, Rotomwash is the first member of the Highland Houndooms. The second Pokemon that we drafted, much to the dismay of a certain Mr. Sizzle, was actually Sizzle. Yes, I drafted Sizzle because I was thinking, now, we'd had quite a lot of time to plan the draft, and in my initial draft plans I had noticed that I was horribly lacking in defoggers and rapid spinners, and I tried racking my brains for good defoggers and spinners, and one of the best ones that I came up with was Sizzle, because bulky defensive Sizzle with defog is actually a really good mon. So I was quite glad to be able to get my hands on it. I was quite surprised actually, because of the way the drafting order worked, it was kind of like a snake thing, and Sizzlewson was on to draft last. He was in 12th place, which meant because of the snaking system of the draft, he actually got to draft two Pokemon at the same time, neither one of which was Sizzle. So I took the opportunity and snapped it up. So Sizzle here, we have 70 HP, 130 attack, 100 defense, 55 special attack, 80 special defense, and 65 speed. It's not the fastest mon in the world, but it doesn't really need it because it's got absolutely wonderful priority in Bullet Punch, which is boosted by Technician. Very little things want to take a Technician Bullet Punch from Sizzle. Again, it's got a 100 defense, so it can run a bulky set with Roost. It gets Roost as well for some nice recovery. We do have to watch out for the fire type moves, but hopefully our next two mons can aid with that. The next Pokemon on my team, I honestly haven't seen the next mon used in any draft league, and I'd been looking at it while I was coming up with draft ideas, and I was kind of like, you know what, I've never tried it, I don't really know what it does, but it looks like a really cool mon. I like its design. So I drafted Zygarde. So Zygarde was our third pick. I think people were interested by this choice because, again, it's not a very common Pokemon choice in draft leagues like this. I've never seen anyone use it. I mean, feel free to, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen it used. So Zygarde we have here 108, that's a 108, not 100, 108 HP, 100 attack, 121 defense, 81 special attack, 95 special defense, and 95 speed. So it's very, very, very good stats. It can fill quite a few roles. Its special attack is a little bit lacking. It does get some decent special attack moves. I know it gets Earth Power. Pretty sure it gets Dragon Pulse, and I think it might even get Draco Meteor. So there is always the option to run Draco Meteor just for a little bit of special offense, because even with only 81 in special attack, that 120, I think it's 120 base Draco Meteor is still going to hurt quite a few things. Now, yes, we are quad weak to ice, so that's 2 Pokemon so far with quad weaknesses. This was actually pointed out to me during the stream. But I'm very interested to use Zygarde. It will be really good against Talonflame as well, because Talonflame has that priority Gale Wings, but Zygarde actually has access to +2 priority extreme speed. So that's very, very nice. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we can outspeed Talonflame with extreme speed. And with base 100 attack power, I'm pretty sure that's an easy 2-hit KO. An easy OHKO if rocks are on the field. So Zygarde was the 3rd member on our teams. The 4th member, again, this one can help with Sizzle's fire weakness a little. It can also help with Zygarde's ice weakness. The 4th member on my team is Volcarona, the firebug itself. Volcarona is a Pokemon I have a bit of experience with. It's not as versatile as some of the other members on the team, because most of them run the Quiver Dance set. It has a bit more utility in doubles like Rage Powder and stuff like that, but that's not really viable because this is a singles format. But yeah, Volcarona is still a very powerful bomb, not to be taken lightly, because if it gets a chance to set up a Quiver Dance, I mean, sometimes it doesn't even need the Quiver Dance. Sometimes it can literally just come in, Fiery Dance, get the boosters off those if they come. 130 special attack base is nothing to sniff at. So we've got 85 HP, 60 attack, 65 defense, 130 special attack, 105 special defense, and 100 speed. So again, we can help a little with Sizzle's fire type weakness, because they are neutral on Volcarona, and because Volcarona's abilities are Flame Body and Swarm. So unfortunately we don't get the Flash Fire, so we're not immune to the fire, but we do take neutral damage. 105 special defense will help us soak up the special hits. I'm not quite sure about a Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz and stuff like that might still hurt us from Charizard X and Talonflame, both of which were drafted in the league. 100 speed is going to make matchups with Mew very interesting. The thing we have to watch out for with Volcarona is the rocks. Stealth Rocks, Rock Slide. But yeah, base 100 speed is going to make matchups against those base 100 legendaries very, very interesting. So yeah, Volcarona, very powerful mon, had a little bit of experience using it, and I'm quite looking forward to bringing it into the TBU. The next Pokemon on my league was easily the most, what's the word, controversial, shall we say, choice for the team. You may have heard about it already, you may have not. The 5th member of the Highland Houndooms is none other than Mr. Mime. Yes, I drafted Mr. Mime. And I know what you're thinking, you're mad. And I probably am. In fact, I'm pretty sure I am. But Mr. Mime, here we are. 40 HP, 45 attack. Those nice, powerful stats there. Defense 65, special attack 100, special defense 120, and speed 90. Now that special defense is very nice, but with a base 40 HP stat, it's not really going to win Mr. Mime any awards. The main reasoning for Mr. Mime was partially because it has access to soundproof, and I was kind of fearful of things like Noivern with Boom Burst, Explode as well with the Boom Burst, and Sylveon coming in, sweeping my team with Hyper Voice, Gardevoir as well. Mega Gardevoir, I believe, was drafted and then swapped out in the 2-day sort of grace period, because after the draft there were 2 days in which we were allowed to take a look at our draft and replace any 2 of our mons with other Pokemon of the same rank, because we don't go on Smogon tiers in this league. We go on a ranking system which was devised by Fredomion, and I'm not sure if Sizzle also had some hand in helping there. I believe it was mainly done by Fredomion, but if I'm wrong, then sorry. But yeah, Mr. Mime, we have soundproof to protect us from those nasty hyper voices. We can avoid phasing as well, but to be honest, that's not really a thing. I mean, we can set up a substitute and we don't have to worry about hyper voices and things being able to hit us behind the sub. But alongside soundproof, we also have Technician, which is easily Mr. Mime's best ability. Because Mr. Mime is a special attacker, it's very, very threatening with Technician boosted hidden powers, which was kind of another reason I drafted Mr. Mime, because there aren't many Pokemon that can run decently powered hidden Technician boosted hidden powers. I think the only other Pokemon that can do it is Roserade, and I can't remember whether or not it had been drafted already. But I had Mr. Mime in mind for a while, just because I wanted to bring it. It's something a bit different. It's something a bit different. I mean, this was like down in the don't even bother sort of rank, so there was a lot of oohs when I drafted this on the stream. So yeah, Mr. Mime, gonna bring the pain with that Technician boosted hidden power. The next Pokemon on the team is, now by this point we were getting down the ranks. I'd got the A, B, the S, A and B in Zygarde. Actually, I think Zygarde is actually C, but Volcarona was the B, I believe. No, I think Volcarona was the A, Zygarde was the B, and Rotomwash was the S, and Sizzle was the A. So at this point I needed C, D and E ranks to make the draft legal. So I drafted a very bulky D rank Pokemon to act as a wall, because I needed some defense at this point. I didn't really have any walls as such. I mean, Zygarde's got good defense, bulky Sizzle can be a good defensive wall. But I wanted something that got some real bulk to it, something that could take hits. Not necessarily dishing them back, but certainly take them. So from the D rank, I drafted Quagsire, the bulky water grown type. Quagsire here with 95 HP, 85 attack, 85 defense, 65 special attack, 65 special defense, and 35 speed. So Quagsire's not winning any awards for speed, but it does win a prize for bulky son of a gun. Yes, Quagsire can soak up the hits. It doesn't enjoy the grass type moves, so that's another quad weakness on the team. So we have Rock's weakness, we have quad rock weakness in Volcarona, quad fire in Sizzle, quad ice in Zygarde, and now quad grass in Quagsire. But Quagsire, a very bulky mon, does very, very well in the lower tiers. And because of the nature of the drafting for this league, because of the nature of needing Pokemon of those different ranks to make your draft legal, there will be lower tiered mons on all of the other teams. So Quagsire will not necessarily be getting overpowered by all of the S and A ranks. If it comes up against anything from about B or C down, it's going to wall the hell out of them. It's going to wall the hell out of them, especially if they're physically defensive. It can even wall special defensive one Pokemon, to be honest. I mean, that base 95 HP really comes through. And it gets a Scald as well, which is good for burning physical attackers unless they're fire types. in which case it hits them super effectively anyway. We also get access to Earth Power, we've got Recover, we can Yawn things, we can Toxic things. So yeah, Quagsire is going to be a very, very valuable addition to the team. The next Pokemon that I drafted for this team was my second Defogger. The next Pokemon is my second Defogger. I have 2 Defoggers on this team because I really don't like hazards. I've had a habit in the past of not bringing Defoggers and Rapid Spinners to teams, so it was kind of like a main focus in my mind when I was coming up with these Pokemon. So the next Pokemon in my team is Skuntank. I know it's not necessarily the first Pokemon that people think of when they think of Defoggers, but I was trying to fill out the tiers. I believe this is my E class. I believe this is my E rank Pokemon. So that helped to make the draft legal. Skuntank it's a great mon. I like Skuntank a lot. I mean, base 103 attack, base 103 HP makes this a very, very bulky mon. It takes the hits very well. The only thing it's weak to is ground. So the only thing it really has to watch out for is Earthquake or Earth Power. So 103 HP, 93 attack, 67 defense, 71 special attack, 61 special defense, and 84 speed. So we do have some decent bulk in HP. The defensive stats are a little bit low for a Pokemon that would typically be defensive, but it also has some decent defenses. I mean, it gives me priority in the Sucker Punch. It also has access to Flamethrower, because I know that Fortress was drafted on one of the teams. Superior is also around as well, so Superior is not going to be able to do much to Skuntank unless it brings the Hidden Power Ground, and we can just hit him back with a Flamethrower or Poison move. Probably Poison move because it's Stab. But yeah, if Skuntank comes against any Steel types, I think they can wall it. It can just blast them with a Flamethrower. It won't necessarily be the most powerful hit in the world, but it will do some damage, and it might get a lucky burn. Flamethrower, I believe, is a 10% chance to burn. So yeah, that's Skuntank. That's the second Defogger of the team. So yeah, it's also nice to have a Poison type on the team. Come in handy for those fairies. So the next Pokemon on the team is definitely one that a lot of people were not happy to see. It's a Pokemon that a lot of people would be happy to never have to face. It's Sigilyph. The next Pokemon I drafted was Sigilyph. This thing can wall things for days, and it has so many tricks up its sleeves. It's behind its little fork arms. So yeah, Sigilyph, it can do so many things. It can use Cosmic Power, Stored Power, Roost, Heat Wave, Psycho Shift Burns. It can do all sorts. It can do so much. It can recover with Roost. I'm not sure if it learns Wish. I'm not sure about that. It's also completely immune to Toxic, I believe. It has the Magic Guard. I'm not sure. I don't think Rock's hurt it either because of the Magic Guard. So yeah, Sigilyph is a real pain in the backside, and I'm so glad it's on my team and nobody else's, because I hate facing this thing. This thing's such a nightmare to face, especially when you're playing the lower tiers. So yeah, Sigilyph base, 72 HP, 58 attack, 80 defense, 103 special attack, 80 special defense, and 97 speed. So very respectable stats for a low tiered mon. 72 HP, letting it down a little bit in the defensive areas, but it does get Cosmic Power, which can boost most of its defensive stats, and then it can blast things with its 103 base special attack, or it can just run the Stored Power and use the boosts from Cosmic Power to boost its own attack, and just cause so much damage. It also learns Heat Wave, as I said, to take on those nasty bug types that might want to come in on it. So yeah, Sigilyph, an absolute monster of a Pokemon. And the next Pokemon is the final Pokemon of my basic draft, because we have to draft 9 Mons, a Mega, and then 3 bench Pokemon. I'll explain the rules for the bench in a little bit when I get that far, but the final of my of my initially available Pokemon. The last one I drafted was Snorlax. I'm not sure why I drafted Snorlax, to be honest. It was just kind of there, and I saw it and I wanted it. I needed a C rank. C was the only rank I didn't have a mon from. I believe Sigilyph might have been Y. Or perhaps Skuntank was Y and Sigilyph was the E. I can't remember. But Snorlax was the C that I needed. I was scouring through the C tier towards the end of the draft, trying to find whatever was left that might be good. And I saw Snorlax sitting there, or rather sleeping there, and it was too good a one to pass up. Base 160 HP. That is 160. I know it looks like a 100, but it is 160 HP, 110 attack, 65 defense, 65 special attack, 110 special defense, and 30 speed. This thing is a nightmare to go against. You can't poison it. It has immunity to the toxic. It's completely immune to poison. You can burn it, but a lot of Snorlaxes tend to run rest anyway, so it's kind of pointless. It is vulnerable on the physical side unless you start sending up curses. Rest curse is a very common set with Snorlax. So yeah, Snorlax is an absolute monster. 160 HP means it can take so many hits. I'm pretty sure it can even take close combat from a lot of the low tiered physical attackers. The higher tier things like Turaki, Infernape, and anything else high up that gets superpower or close combat, like Landorus. I think they can probably take it out even with its massive HP stat, but definitely the lower tiered Pokemon, even with an adamant fighting move, would struggle to OHKO this thing. So yeah, Snorlax. It's also got a very good move pool, as normal types generally do. It gets the Gonk Shot, it gets, I believe, gets the Elemental Punches as well. It gets Body Slams, it gets Heavy Slam, which is probably actually the most powerful Heavy Slam in the game because it's Snorlax. So yeah, I'm very, very, very much looking forward to using Snorlax. Again, it's another mod I've never really used. I'm going to be doing a lot of researching into the move lists of these Pokemon, particularly when I'm team building for matches. So yeah, quite a few Pokemon I've played with, so I'm very excited to have a game with all of these new Pokemon. Now we came to the Mega Draft, and I was lucky enough to get the Pokemon that I wanted. I honestly didn't expect anybody else to take it, and I was right because nobody did. So I was very, very happy to get the Mega that I wanted. It is another quad weakness on the team, but it's also the fastest Pokemon in the league. The Mega that I drafted for the Highland Houndooms is Mega Sceptile. Yes, Mega Sceptile, filling up the page there, so I even had to cram in the statistics, look. Mega Sceptile, fastest Pokemon in the league. If you don't have priority, it's going to destroy you. We do have to look out for Talonflame. Mamoswine is another problem with Ice Shard. I don't believe Weavile was drafted. I don't remember seeing it. I don't think Weavile was drafted. So Mamoswine and Talonflame are the main threats to this Pokemon. 70 HP, 110 attack, 75 defense, 145 special attack, 85 special defense, and 145 speed. So this is a glass cannon Pokemon, but with that 145 special attack and 110 attack, it can easily run offensive sets on either side of the spectrum, or it can even run a mix set, which does mean the investment probably won't be to the max, but it will catch a lot more things with their pants down. So Mega Sceptile gonna take lives. Again, we do have to watch out for that Quad Ice weakness. That's 2 Pokemon with Quad Ice weaknesses. But Grass type, also a very, very good type. I believe Gastrodon was drafted on one of the teams. We should also be able to take down most of the dragons, I believe, because we're faster. None of them. There is no priority dragon move, so they're basically all gonna die when they come against Mega Sceptile. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I have the fastest Pokemon in the league. Now we move on to the bench drafts. I did actually have to change one of these after I drafted because one of them was illegal. But the basic idea behind the bench is that you have 3 reserve Pokemon that you can switch in and out of your main team whenever you need to, but you are only allowed to do this 6 times in the season. So you have to plan very carefully about whether or not it's worth bringing one of your Pokemon off the bench, because you have limited uses for bench swaps. So it's very much dependent on games. I mean, there are always going to be Pokemon on your bench that will do better in a game, and then the next game you might need something else that you put on the bench last game. So it's going to be very interesting to see how people manage the bench rule. I, for one, have a lot of power on the bench. I also have a bit of utility on there as well. So the first Pokemon I drafted onto the bench. Now by this point I hadn't, none of these Pokemon were I originally planned. None of these Pokemon were originally planned for the bench. Initially I was looking at kind of gimmicky mons like Flareon and Shedinja, things like that. Zoroark, who was actually drafted on Rotomwash team, I believe. So that's going to be one to watch out for with its tricksy little illusion ability. But yeah, the first Pokemon that I drafted on the team, I noticed that there was a little bit of a vulnerability to fairies. So I wanted something that could combat said fairies. Sizzle obviously is a very good fairy counter, but the hidden power fire is painfully obvious on fairies that feel threatened by Sizzle. So to have the second option for fairy check is very nice. The first I'm really dragging this out, aren't I? The first Pokemon I drafted for the bench was Metagross. Metagross is the first Pokemon on our bench. 80 HP, 135 attack, 130 defense, 95 special attack, 90 special defense, and 70 speed. So I'm very happy to have Metagross on the bench. I can't believe it wasn't snapped up sooner, to be honest. I don't even think anybody drafted no wait, cut myself off there. I was about to say I can't believe anybody didn't draft Mega Metagross, but then I remembered it was banned. It was put to the vote, and I believe Mega Metagross was banned. So that'll be why nobody drafted it. But yeah, I was surprised that nobody drafted Metagross before. To see it just sat there gathering dust all over its powerful metal body was kind of sad. So when I saw it just sitting there, I had to have it. I had to have it. So Metagross is gonna put the pain, put the hurt on those fairy types. That 130 defense stat means that even Slurpuff after a belly drum can come in with its play rough and still take a Meteor Mash to the face and die. I think. I haven't calced it, but I think if I run defensive Metagross, then we could take a +6 play rough from Slurpuff. I think. Don't quote me, but I think. So yeah, Metagross. It's gonna be cool. Welcome to the team, buddy. The second Pokemon on the bench is the Pokemon that I had to switch because I drafted Haxorus originally, which meant I had 3 dragons on the team. I love Haxorus so much. I've used Haxorus before. That thing, the rule of Haxorus is, if you get 2 D-dances up with Haxorus, you win. That's it. There is nothing that can stop it. Unless it's low on HP and you have priority, if it gets 2 Dragon Dances up, that's it. It's game over. I was very sad to lose Haxorus because it was the same rank as Metagross. They were both B ranks, and the rules state that you can't have 2 Pokemon of the same rank on your bench. So I had to get rid of Haxorus because I needed that alternate steel offense from Metagross for the fairies, because like I said, the HP fire check for Sizzle is painfully obvious. So I took a look at the team, and I noticed that aside from Sceptile, it isn't particularly fast. It's not slow, but it's not fast either. So I wanted something that could help with that. Something that could slow down the opposition. Something with sticky web. So I drafted Galvantula. I swapped out Haxorus and I went with Galvantula. A very frail mon, but a very useful mon. Galvantula, it's actually my favourite Pokemon of Gen 5 as well. Little known fact. So for any of you out there that are arachnophobes and don't like spiders, I'm sorry. I didn't do it intentionally. But Galvantula is such a good mon. 70 HP, 77 attack, 60 defense, 97 special attack, 60 special defense, and 108 speed. So it's not the most powerful Pokemon. It is primarily there just for the sticky web. There are a lot of things that can counter the sticky web. I know somebody drafted, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody drafted Zato, I believe. This is awesome. Can't remember though. I haven't seen people's drafts since the stream, to be honest. But I know Zatu's floating around somewhere. I believe Espeon is as well. Pretty much everybody has Defoggers and Rapid Spinners as well, because it's kind of be silly not to. So Sticky Web is very counterable, but that doesn't mean it's redundant. That doesn't mean it's a bad idea. If I can get the Sticky Web up, that will help me a lot. A lot. Now I do have to be careful, because Eric has Contrary Superior. So Sticky Web will actually speed it up rather than slow it down. So I've got to be careful about using it against him. But other than that, Galvantula has the potential to really change the games if it can get the Sticky Web up and keep it up. The base 95 special attack will also be nice for dealing some decent hits. Because it has the compound eyes, I can just run straight up Thunder, which is going to be awesome. If any ground types want to come in on it, I can just run either HP Ice or Energy Ball, because Galvantula does get Energy Ball, which is really cool. So Gastrodon can go and suck an egg. So yeah, Galvantula, the second draft for the bench. The final Pokemon on the bench is another one that I couldn't believe wasn't drafted before. It was literally the last turn of the draft, and this Pokemon was just left, forgotten, unwanted. Maybe not unwanted, but certainly forgotten. So I saw it, I had enough points, and I took it. The final Pokemon on the bench is Terrakion. The powerhouse that is Terrakion. Yes, I have got the beast himself. 190, going to read. 91 HP, 129 attack, very oddly specific statistics there. 90 defense, 72 special attack, 90 special defense, and 108 speed. Absolutely incredibly powerful glass cannon. This thing can destroy so many lives. Close combats, rock slides, earthquakes, there's very little that this thing can't hit super effectively. Even Tyranitar with all its bulk is gonna die to a close combat. Talonflame is gonna die to a rock slide. So I'm pretty sure we can take a Brave Bird, especially if we run Sash. Mamoswine dies to close combat. You know, there's so many things. It even gets Iron Head, so we can come in and we can absolutely smash things like Mega Altaria, Slurpuff, Sylveon, all those annoying fairy types. I mean, we get Earthquake as well, which is going to help get us with Mega Mawile, which I believe Richie drafted. I think he changed his initial Mega for Mega Mawile. So yeah, Terrakion, gonna do a lot of work. It is on the bench. But I'll bring it out when I need it. So yeah, Turaki, I'm going to do work for the team. So yeah, so that's the team, guys. That is the Highland Houndooms. Very, very, very good team. I'm surprised how well I drafted, to be honest. I've got a lot of power. A lot of power on this team. And Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime's going to be the star of the show. He's going to absolutely wreck everyone with that Technician Hidden Power. And then possibly even Technician Double Slap. Just for lols. Just for the lols. Because I'm pretty sure... I actually think Mr. Mime can get Power Trick. So Power Trick Double Slap, very interesting. Base 100, Technician Boosted Double Slap. Not even bad. So yeah, that's the Highland Houndooms of the Battle Union. Be sure to check out the official channel for the Battle Union, which I will leave in the description down below for all the updates. All of the videos will be linked there as well. There are some very exciting things coming up. Lots of exciting battles as well. So yes, thank you for joining me. I hope this draft video hasn't been too long-winded for you. I hope it's been at least semi-interesting. Let me know what Pokemon you're excited to see in battle. I personally am excited to use Mr. Mime and Zygarde of the team, but all of them are going to put in work. All of them. But yeah, let me know which Pokemon you're excited to see in battle. Let me know what other teams as well that you're supporting. Let me know what other teams in the TBU that you are supporting. Yeah, because I don't mind a bit of friendly competition is always good. It's always healthy. It's good to know. It's just nice to know who's rooting for who, to be honest. So thank you for joining me, everyone, and I will see you in the first of the battles for the Battle Union. Stay cool, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.